Alright, sorry. Dang, I don't know what happened. It just stopped. But somebody might got a smart AC or some shit. Hell, I don't know. But anyway, so my grandson likes to watch his little TV shows, but he also likes to listen to rain sounds. Helps him relax, helps him, go to sleep. So she put on his little TV show on the TV. She had the rain sounds playing on her phone. Well, she did this before, but it's just a little bit harder, when you don't have your own space and whatnot. It's like it's difficult, right? You don't have your own space, you don't have your own TV, so you have to figure it out. Well, you know, either you can use a TV or you have two, you know, devices, computer, phones, whatever, tablets, whatever. You know, it's always good to have something that the child can probably watch, and then something else they can then gonna listen to. You know, just saying because you know she's done it before, and like I said, her routine it works. But it's just to be a little bit more different, difficult when you don't have your own space. So, like, if you don't have your own space, it's like, okay, you have to wait till you're able to either use the TV if you only have like one device, right? So you have to wait to use the TV, but it's just a good thing. Now, if you have multiple devices, then yeah, go right ahead, you know, put something on for the child to watch, and then I don't know if other people use rain sounds or whatever, but yeah, it does. It helps babies, and it's just something that you can learn, early on. Something to just pay attention to. What helps your baby go to sleep, right? So we learned early on what helps my grandson relax and go to sleep. So that's just basically what we've been having to do. But he has. At first, it was a little easy. It was a little easy. It was easier in the beginning to just put on the rain sounds and he goes to sleep. But now that it's like he's like being more distracted by things. Okay, got to get you something to not distract you. Something that you'll focus on, and then boom, hit you with this too at the same time, and shoot, and you're out like a light. But some people, if you just sit back and just let them do, whatever. But it's still a routine. It's still a routine. It's still a routine. It's just eh, it be hiccups in it, but you can still do it. Still be hiccups. Here and there. However, but like I was saying though, you can't overstep. And when there's a routine going, like don't mess up the routine. Now certain situations, like I said, if you don't have your own space, it can cause a rupture in a routine. You know, you can still do it, but it won't be, at the time that you probably would want it to be done. You want to do it and whatever, whatever. Anyway, just throwing it out there, I had to sit back and let my daughter do what she do. You know, I help as a grandmother as, just making sure he is attended to, while she's busy and things like that, you know. Um, but yeah, it's a lot of ways you can overstep, when it comes down to stuff like that. You can overstep, and you shouldn't overstep, you know, because, I mean, especially someone with kids, you know. It's okay to give advice. It's okay to, you know, me being a grandmother, I put, I see myself spoiling him. He's already spoiled. His mother spoils him, I spoil whatever. He's spoiled, okay? But at the same time, I can't over spoil him. I can't, you know, just let him get away with certain shit. You know, a lot of times, like my grandson, he feels like he don't have to listen, or he doesn't want to listen to his mom, but he'll come and bother me and want to come to me and stuff like that. Like, you know, that's when I start seeing stuff like that. I'm like, okay, let me sit back and let your mama deal with you, cause you being funny. Little do we know, man, kids, they have their own minds, for real. Babies, firstborn, they're into the world. They enter the world, and child, they know more than what we do. What we know, and y'all just don't. We just don't know that shit. Okay. But anyway, I had to sit back and just let her do what she do, because I want to help. I'm here to help, but the routine is being overlooked, right? So it also goes, with just, if it ain't nobody, you don't have any kids, just say you're by yourself and you're staying with a friend or a family member, and you're just like, you doing what you're doing, and you just trying to, do it the way you want to do it, and instead they're like, hold on, you shouldn't do it like this, you should do it like this, or, they just stepping in and interfering in your routine, or messing up your routine some type of way, and sometimes it don't necessarily have to be intentional, because a lot of people, they don't know, like, that's what I mean, like, they're trying to help you, so they don't know that they're overstepping. They don't know that they're, configuring your routine. They don't know that they are, you know putting a rupture in your routine. They don't know that. Some people don't know that, and some people do know that. When you, like, hey, if you pay attention, and you'll figure it out that they're doing this on purpose. You know what I'm saying? They're doing this on purpose. Okay. Some people think that, oh, okay, and this just came to me. Some people think that, oh, well, if we keep them up late, keep their kids up late, that them and their kids gonna sleep late. I ain't got to worry about them moving around, doing nothing. If I want to get up early, I could be able to get up early, do what I want to do, how I want to do it, when I want to do it. Just saying. And like I said, some people, they don't know that they're doing it, and so, it's, and you got some people that, be like, well, shoot, I don't have to, you know, everybody should have rules in their house, okay? But you don't want to make or have somebody feel unwanted. You don't want them to feel like, you know, they gotta accommodate you. And then if you staying with somebody, you don't want them to feel like they gotta accommodate you, or you have to accommodate them. I'm trying to make the sense of this all. So, but in some senses, that you staying with somebody, the person that you're staying with feels like you have to accommodate them, and then vice versa, it'd be the other person be feeling like, well, I'm your guest, you need to accommodate me, or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? So when communication needs to come in, it needs to be communication. It needs to be, something talked about, spoken on, or whatever before it, shit. It just, hey, we need to talk about how we want to do this. What is it that you're needing, or what is it you want me to do, or how, you know what I'm saying? What are you gonna? It need to be some compromise, you know. You just going into a thing blind and, figuring it out as you go. That's cool. That's what a lot of people do. They just figure it out as they go. You know what I'm saying? It's cool. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like, shoot, I need somebody to talk to me. I need somebody to let me know, you know what I'm saying? Hey, what's up? How's this gonna go? What we gonna do? You know, I've been just peeping game but what we gonna do? Is it okay? Is everything okay? What is that we need? What do you need? Whatever, however, Well, so anyway, I hope it made sense. Hope I made sense. I hope that made sense. And it's understandable. You know. Just throwing some real information, some shit out there, because shit, I done been through it, I done witnessed it, and I'm just like, like I said, shoot, I'm getting older, I'm growing, and I'm, figuring things out, and I'm knowing more, and I'm doing more, and, all that, all that. So when it's all said and done, you know, you just have to know better, you know. You gotta pay attention. You gotta, work together. If it's gonna be a teamwork type, make it be teamwork. Let's teamwork make the dream work. Okay? And if you gonna work together, work together. You know, like I said, some people some people will make it hard for you on purpose. And some people don't know that they're making it hard for you. You know, if your main goal is to just, hey, if anybody offers anything or says, if you're having to stay with somebody, it got to be a conversation that gets had. So you'll both know, okay, if this is where you want to be, if you'll be able to, compromise. Because some people don't care. Some people's like, your home is my home. Until you actually really see how that person is, and you're like, okay, wait a minute now. I know I said my home is your home, but don't go too far. That's gonna be another conversation because man, some people will go far as hell. So far as to dang really treat your home as their home, bringing all type of company over and every damn home thing. Hold up. You wake up to a motherfucker in your kitchen cooking your food. You don't even know what that is. Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm just saying. But anyway, yo, that's another conversation. I want to know for real. Who did it? Who has ever? I know it's a lot of people. I know it's a lot of them. A lot of them. Shit, a lot of folks in here probably been through something similar. Okay? Wake up somebody in your bathroom, you don't even know who they is. Shit. Your company just overstayed they damn they company overstayed they damn welcome. Like nigga, you skating on thin ice around this motherfucker. You got the nerve to have somebody over spending the night, eating, sleeping, farting, shitting. Oh no. No, no. We can't do that. Just saying. You know, it be rules to it. It just really do. It be rules to it, you know. But anyway, like I said, that's another conversation. But yeah, don't overstep no boundaries. Compromise. Have a conversation. If you're ever gonna, do anything, okay? There's so many different forms of help. And it's like, shit. Yeah. All right, y'all. Y'all take it easy. Shit.